So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you guys are tuning in for this Sacred Soul conversation. My name is Roberta Robbins, and today I have Debra Jones with me. And we are inviting you to grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a big glass of water and come and join us for a conversation that is, our intention is to talk about the things that are kind of energetically going on that we feel personally through our lives, but that we're noticing that through our friends, our family, and our clients, and just talk about how we're navigating certain things nowadays. And we're hoping that those of you that feel the calling to connect with us through this conversation, that you'll reach out and let us know how things have been going for you. And yeah, we'll go from there. So Debra, hello, good morning.
Hello, thank you for inviting me.
Well, it's lovely to have you on one of these calls. When we were talking last week about having this conversation, we're like, okay, we always have to have a little focus so that Debra and I keep on track, or we could just be talking for hours probably. So we're like, well, what's our focus going to be today? And we're talking about how we were noticing all of last year this paradigm shifting. Right? Like we were up leveling. That was a word we were using through conversations all last year when we were getting together. And here we are in a new year. And what's it feeling like now? So I thought we would have a little conversation about how that has been feeling. What do we notice going on? And maybe even just like things, how we've been navigating it for ourselves at times. So I'm going to be adding to the description of this video links for myself, links for Debra, so you can, if you don't know either one of us, or you only know one of us, go check out the other person and get caught up with what our medicine, our magic is that we do out in the world. And if you feel called to reach out to us, all the information will be there for you. But for now, we're just going to have a lovely conversation I say this morning, I guess it's already going into the afternoon when we're recording this. So Debra, how's it going? How's it going?
There's a loaded question. It's not going the way it used to be going. That much I can tell you. I don't know. I don't know. I'm in a state of flux, and I'm not sure where I need to be focused. I'm not sure what I need to be doing. I'm waiting for a sign, and then I'm thinking maybe I should just make my own sign. And this is all a new space, and I don't know what to do with it other than trust it. And that's kind of where I'm at. Wake up in the morning and see how I feel, and see where I'm guided and where my inspiration goes. And so it's really all up in the air. Every day is different.
Yeah, I feel like every morning I do have to just settle into, okay, well, what is today? What's it feeling like in this moment? Because I also have noticing my morning may start out one way, by the afternoon it's something else, by dinner time it's something else, and by the time I go to bed it's something else. It's like there is so much shifting and changing in one day. Mm-hmm. So I would say whatever is going on right now energetically within ourselves, within our collective, within our soul groups, everything that we're doing, it's interesting, but it's also allowing us, I think, to be able to take one day at a time and be more in the moment. Because if you're not, I think it feels more uncomfortable and scattered to navigate stuff.
Yeah. And you know, the astrologers and getting a finger on the pulse of what's going on, it seems like we're all in the same boat. It's unprecedented. That's really the word I was looking for. We've not been here before. Aspects of it, yes, but you know, I'm used to having a very clear focus on what I want to do, and then picking and choosing from whatever inspires me and then going for it and accomplishing it. And that's what I'm seeing is the accomplishing part isn't there. And that's really, it's a little disorienting, but I do know that there's a purpose for it. So I won't say I'm welcoming it, because I do like to feel like I got a handle on my life. But because I know everyone's in the same boat, it's like, well, okay, this is it. This is what it is. So be good with it or struggle, your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is comforting to know that we're not alone, that there does seem to be quite a few people that are feeling the same way. And I think that's what prompted, let's have some conversations about navigating these new times without, there's no guidebook. It seemed like years, the years prior to this, there was at least something or some people or something in front of us that would be like, okay, here's support, here's help. They're a step or two ahead, and this is the energetic where I want to place into. So then there was some guidance in front of us. Where now it's like we're all owning and mastering our own, whatever it is for us. I think that's also, we're like fine tuning right now. It feels like a lot of us are like, what is the fine tuning of more who we are in our medicine, how we're going to be going forward, but also that it's there isn't easy steps or guides in front of us that we can go and go, oh, I need to go walk on a journey with you right now to get some of these new pieces. It's like, it's all us taking it feels to me in Halle, it feels like it's taking more of a fuller ownership and empowerment of everything in my life. Not that we don't do that in some ways, but do you know what I mean? Like there's something calling, it feels like saying, okay, this is all new creation and it has to stem from you. And from there, it feels like the next step that's a little different for us, which Debra, you and I have been talking about this a lot, and so has our friend Julie, about the next thing is about how we working together. How are we not doing everything on our own, but standing our own medicine and wisdom, but how do we share this out and work together as a team? And that's been a big thing we could feel coming for us, but it's so new. That's not even, we're trying to figure that out, what that even looks like, to be supportive in a different way for each other. Yeah, it's like everything seems very new right now.
It does. And I've been listening to guides on on the internet, and those that seem to have a finger on the pulse. And you're right, I would look to them to get a taste of what we're in, and then I would know what to do with it. But they're still offering that, but they're not offering the answers. It feels like they're just saying, ta-da, do something with it. Right? And with you and I and Julie, the idea of this new paradigm, that's really the whole focus. Is it's a whole new paradigm, which means it's something that hasn't been done before in this way. What I'm hearing is that I need to figure out what I want to do with my life, what I want to focus on, what I want to let go of. But to be quite honest, I don't even know what that is right now. It seems easy. Okay, pick this and let go of that. Okay, but I can't even get my head around that right now. So that's why I'm kind of sitting and waiting. When we get together, you and I and Julie, before we kind of moved into this, one of us kind of guided away, and now it's like none of us are guiding the way. We're all just flapping around in the water together. Isn't this nice? So lie back and and if we're so in tune with the shifts and what's happening, and we can't even figure it out, then I wonder what those that aren't so in tune are feeling and doing. And I find that what I can offer is where I'm at right now, and that's all I'm concerned about, right? If a client comes to me, I just take it in the moment. What are you sharing with me? What have I got to share with you? So there's no pre-planning. That's what I'm finding.
Yeah, I've been feeling, I would say, and you probably have been noticing that even prior to 2020, because we're just still at the start of the year, even though we almost have 2 months done at this point.
Yeah.
It really, the year leading up to this really felt like when I was doing, workshops or retreats or anything, it's like it was changing in the sense that there wasn't so much planning and organizing and anchoring in. Like you have your anchoring in with, our daily practice that we know that we need. And even our daily practice, at least for me, man, I'm spending hours sometimes in sacred practice and sacred space for myself these days, just to navigate and manage and integrate what's going on. But it's like, there's something about just showing up where you are in the moment. And yeah, like trusting that we have all what we've needed up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're fully looked after, our wisdom, our medicine, and how we can show up for our clients and for those that we work with in groups and circles and everything else that both of us do in our own unique way, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
different. But yeah, so it is, I think maybe, when you say that, like you're showing up in that moment for your clients where you're at, isn't that what's really kind of also needed? That we need to be giving ourselves and showing others that all we need to do is show up as we are in the moment, even if it's a crazy day of feeling maybe your morning was so blah, or you're feeling a little on edge, or whatever's going on with you, like giving ourselves permission to be that way, and therefore reflecting that and allowing others to go, I can just be like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also what I'm getting out of that is getting out of the head and into the heart. And that has been the feeling and the message and the basis of this new paradigm. And, that what you just described and what I just described is exactly that, is that we think we should be doing something. Well, stop thinking you should be doing something. Feel it. Do you feel it? If you don't feel it, why are you doing it? And maybe that's it, is just to learn to be guided by our heart, not our head. And for those of us that are used to using the head and then sometimes dipping down into the heart when needed to kind of tip it upside down is a whole new thing. And we need to find a way to do it that suits us best. And it's not one size fits all. So there's not going to be someone to say, this is how you do it. Because we're all coming from different places. We've all had different experiences of what listening to the heart means, or what happens when you do listen to the heart. And, we've all been hurt. We've all had, issues, surrounding the head and the heart. Yeah. And so it's, I think it's not going to be one size fits all medicine going forward. It's going to be totally, totally unique. Totally.
Yeah, and totally unique in the sense that I think the reality is what brings us joy. Sometimes, like nowadays, I ask myself that, okay, what's bringing me joy? And kind of like what you said about, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing. And I feel the same way. I'm like, I actually don't know what the frig that is right now. And being still to kind of hear the guidance and the messages that are coming in. But what's bringing us joy now? Like, so I asked myself, what is bringing me joy now? What is new? What's the new dreams? It's like I'm discovering meeting myself now in this place, instead of almost working backwards and pulling it through. It's a different kind of even way. So every day it feels a little like a new discovery of going deeper about what brings me joy. Where do I see myself? What kind of work, do I want to be doing? What's different? And it's, when we ask ourselves this, it is different for every single one, but I feel like it's different in every single day almost right now. Like everything feels like it's just can't get like even a really nice grip on anything. Go, oh, that's it. It's like, oh, tomorrow will bring me something else. Go, oh, and apparently that's it.
Yeah.
And what felt good yesterday, maybe not flying for today. So we are in very interesting times right now, the energy.
I think part of it is giving ourselves permission to flow that way, rather than, there's like a standard or something, an expectation that we put on ourselves to be a certain way or to do things a certain way. And if it's not flying, if it's not working out that way, can we give ourselves permission to shift and adjust? And I think the pain or the discomfort comes in when we're not giving ourselves permission to just go with the flow. What's wrong with going with the flow? I know my upbringing, you don't go with the flow. You've got a plan. You set your course and you go that way and you don't deviate and you get there. Right. And it's like relearning, unlearn everything that you think you need, and only put in your backpack the tools that you need right now, maybe.
I've been feeling the words that have been coming to me, the feelings and the words have been purging. There's a purging going on within my system, and rewiring, an untethering of old stories. As I think those of us are in the world of healing and journey work and stuff like that within where we're going, we are always understanding that we have to kind of maybe look at our stories, but there's something that's really different. It's a really almost like an uprooting, so you can shake off the old energies and then kind of root back in a new way. That's at least the energetic and the imagery I'm getting with things these days. It's densities, even the words, like feeling like there's the old stuff that we've been thinking of healing and moving. Now there's another layer that just really wants to shift, because there's definitely new energies that are coming in, light codes and upgrading within our systems, and we feel it within our bodies, but also beyond, like in the planet, our collective, but then beyond, so there has to be, we have to have time, I guess, to go through this and to settle down and to allow all this different things that happens. It just, that feels like some days it feels like quite the roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's like, I just got a visual of as a kid, walking into a candy store, and you see all the bright colors and shapes, and you anticipate all the tastes and the sugar and the yummy stuff. But you've only got, a few pennies in your pocket. So you have to be discerning. And so what really, out of all of those things that's out there, out of all of the wisdom that you've gained, out of all of the tools that you have, what's firing you up today? What are you going to spend your little coins on, right? What are you going to invest in? Rather than, I'll take the whole store, thank you, wrap it up. Right? Because that's, we've got all these tools, we've got all these gifts, we've got all this wisdom, and it's ours, but we don't need all of it all the time. So maybe we have to just, think about being discerning. What's important? What wisdom needs to come out today? What tools are you going to put in place today? Rather than, just knowing you've got all of this and you think you need to be using it all. It's funny.
Yeah. A common thing I find myself doing most mornings now is, what will bring Roberta joy? What are the things that I want to play with? What candy do we want to pick today, right? That's great analogy of looking at it that way. So what tools, what things, what experiences, what surroundings, where do I want to be? What's the energetic around me? What do I need and choose for today that brings me joy?
Yeah.
So how have you been feeling in the sense daily? What's your lately? What's your
my lately?
Your lately of how your day goes in the sense of nurturing yourself through this?
Well, just having come through a whole week of back pain, which I wasn't anticipate, well, whoever is anticipating getting hurt, but being forced to sit and do nothing. I saw that as a sign because I haven't been listening. I've been trying to use all the candy in the candy store. And so I needed to be forced, this is the way it feels, to sit down. And when I'm down, then I get to look around and see, okay, where am I going to put my energy? So my energy has been used to make some changes and shifts and alterations in my physical space, and to get ready. It feels like I'm getting ready and getting into alignment for something I don't, it's like a guest is coming, but I don't know who it's going to be. So you're preparing, you're doing things, you're sprucing things up and aligning things, and, you know, even purging, as you said, purging items, things that, you know, this doesn't bring me joy anymore, let me give it away to charity or something like that. And just in anticipation for something that I think is coming.
Yeah.
That's kind of the energy that I've been in. And it's good, it's fresh and it's new. Making changes, I always like, you know, something fresh and new. But it would be nice to, you know, get the memo of who it is that's going to show up, you know, so that I can, you know, prepare in my mind perfectly for this new visitor. But in my heart, I'm enough. My place is enough. Everything looks good. So whoever it is going to enjoy. You know, so it's really that matter of trust. There's a lot of just letting go and trusting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of trusting. My sense, interesting you say, like, I feel like I'm prepping and that there's like a new guest, right? Like that energy of something is coming. And I feel with my stuff, like especially career, but it's also like living situation stuff too. It's like there's something coming. So there's this feeling of you need to rest. You need to not push forward with new programs and various things like things I would do with my business. It's like, no, because there's something else coming. There's another, it's almost like it's going to be opportunities or connections and people is what I'm kind of feeling it to be, but also my own awareness, like something is going to be shifting within me and how I do things. Yep. But I don't know what the freak it is yet. And that waiting, and I've been feeling this for, I would say since definitely the fall, when I got this strong message that my life needed to slow down. I need to clear the plate, clean the slate, kind of like come back to neutral, find out what that neutral ground and essence is, this new energy. I just didn't realize it was going to take so long. It's like, oh, is that not like just like a month or two that I need to do that? Maybe after winter solstice, but no, it feels like it's going to take as long as it's going to take. And, part of me wants to say, oh, I feel like energetically somewhere between Ostera and Beltane, something's going to shift. And that's just my inner flowing with the cycles of the year. Like, I feel like something's coming around there, but I have to let go, because won't I be disappointed and struggling even in more discomfort if by May 1st, I'm still exactly where I am right now, which I won't be exactly where I am now, because I remind myself, I'm doing a lot of work right now within my life and myself. But we get those tendencies, right, of going, oh, there still isn't the outward stuff. So it's trusting that's all. There's movement. We're not really stuck. There's stuff that's happening. This is work. Even if it doesn't look like work the way we've been doing it, everything we're going through, I have to remind myself anyhow, it's like I'm doing work right now for whatever's coming too.
Yeah. And that aspect of needing to accomplish or needing to create or needing to do something, we don't. And so if we can, maybe it's happening, it's taking so long so that we can really get used to that and accept ourselves, accept our lives, accept the path, I know some of my healing was to let go of what I thought was an expectation of the way I needed to operate. And that was in here. That was just an idea or something that I've learned or something that I've carried over the years, that I need to be producing something. And I don't know what shifted. It was probably all the downloads and all of the global shifting that were all happening, that I finally really got my head around that. It's okay. So I'm not producing a thing, but I'm producing the scene or the environment for this something new, or this new guest that's going to show up for us. And we're going to have to be okay with it, or we suffer. That's the choice. You're either good with it or you're not. And so you have the choice. We have the power to make the choice. So can you give yourself permission to just let it be what it is? Well, yeah, I can.
I think the is deeper understanding of real surrendering. We use those words a lot, right? Surrender, let go, release, and here's some rituals and blah, 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 right? All the great blah, blah, blahs, is because there's wisdom and great gems and all that blah, blah, blah. But it's another level of really, really embodying it, instead of it being, when we hear, oh, I'm going to surrender a bit here, I'll let go a little bit of this over here. It's like, no, we really want you to go to the core of what that means and really embody it and feel it. You know how you were saying about, it's a time to like get out of our heads more and into our heart. And I've been seeing that the message of follow your heart, follow your heart. It's been like pretty much stalking me, I would say, since October when I was in Ireland. I was like, I see signs, I hear people saying it all the time, I was reading it in books, follow your heart, follow your heart. And what I've noticed, even when I'm going to get, when I'm on the days I'm like, I need not to be doing in using all my sacred tools or the techniques and healings that I typically will go grab for myself. On the days I'm like, I need to just let spirit and maybe do a journey and say, I'm needing this kind of healing, but I'm going to leave it up to you to help me with whatever the heck it is I need today. But what I've noticed a couple of times when I've done that, I'm in my head thinking about what they're doing, like how they're doing the healing on me and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm hearing them say, Roberta, get out of your head and just feel and be with what we're doing. And I'm like, geez, my Lord, I go off into, other realms to get healing and support, and I'm still up here. And so it's humorous for sure, but how much I still am in my wanting to think, wanting to learn, thinking how I'm going to possibly do that later on myself, blah, 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 instead of just surrendering, letting it all go and letting be what is happening.
Awesome.
And it's funny how, we're getting all these lovely, at least deeper insights that we're getting during this time. It's like, oh, I had a bit of a block there about that, or that I was doing that, or that I had to keep producing. I had a moment a couple weeks ago that I found my calendars. I just have these big sheet statically on my walls in my office that you could dry eraser all the events I was doing, everything. And I could tell you they were from 2018. And I thought at that time, even just to a few months ago, that I wasn't doing enough, that I wasn't producing enough. And I looked at these calendars I had for 2018, and I looked at them and went, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed and anxious by the amount of things I was doing then, which is great to realize. But I remember, I just thought I wasn't still doing enough. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, energetically, I can't even vibrate at that anymore, that level. I can't go into it anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think you've been feeling the same way, right? Debra? It's like this new, it's like, we're creatives, right? We have these ideas and everything all the time. So we like creating, we like supporting and helping and doing all those things. So to pull back and just be I think with everything we have done and where we are, it's like we're meeting ourselves energetically. It feels in a different way.
And maybe even that's the balance, we've tipped the scales. It's almost like we've tipped the scales too far the other way as well. So it feels, but I'm just getting a picture, just hands behind your head, just floating down that lazy river. And that word lazy, there's another loaded word, but let's be lazy. It's not lazy. It's in tune with ourself, in tune with our heart. And we cannot be in our heart if we're in our head. Right? We can use both of them, but you're either in your head or you're in your heart. And I think after saying that out loud, maybe where we're headed is the heart-mind connection for real, that we can actually work with both of them equally and in balance. And that's what literally this second just came through, is that it's in preparation for us to be operating from the heart mind.
When you say that, what I just got was like, it's like we're teaching the heart and the mind to actually have open communication back and forth and a partnership.
Yeah.
Instead of the mind taking over or being so much in our heart and emotions taking over. And so it's like this mastery and this new connective communication highway between the two, and that they want to work together. Yeah.
That's another conversation, isn't it?
It is. And as it's like, that is another conversation. Let's mark that one down. So we're probably coming up, I'm guessing, around our half an hour or so mark now. So this feels good for our first sacred soul conversation together. And I know we were talking that this might be a few conversations that we may be doing together. So as we wrap up this conversation for today, any wise wisdom that you would give out to anybody right now, other than all that you just said?
All that we just said.
Yeah.
Well, to find out what it means to you personally. We're all in our unique lives, and the words that we've used can be used to guide. And so rather than saying, yes, that's how I feel, yes, that's what I think, maybe dig a little deeper. And is that really, or can you even tweak it? Can you make it fit you even better? Rather than listening externally to the guides, which we appear to be guides as we're talking, but take that wisdom, bring it within. And is it exactly that, or is it a little bit different? And use this time for yourself to discern, what part of that candy in the candy store did you really, really love? What resonated with you, and what was, I don't know.
Yeah, I was saying, and taking the time to then savor what you did choose, right?
Yes.
Savor, and what was that came up, and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Take some time with it, right? Because when we rush, sometimes we rush into the next thing. So what I would say, that I'm finding I am saying to a lot of people, and of course I'm saying it to myself every day, is what will bring me joy today? What, not just action, but even surroundings. Like, what do you want to surround yourself with that feels good? The people, the places, and like what it can be, like what activities, but what is going to bring, whatever that is, what's going to bring you joy today? And just choose one thing. Well, thank you, Debra, for having this conversation with me. And thank you for everybody that has tuned in for this conversation. We would love to hear from you. So please leave comments below for us so we can have a conversation with you. And also, like I said, in the detail for the video, Debra and mine, our contact information will be there so that you can reach out to us directly. Or if you're just not familiar with who we are, you can go over to our websites and that and just check out a little bit about who we are and what we do in the world. But these, like I said, these conversations are invited for you to drop in beyond the business stuff, because that even feels like the old kind of paradigm of where we come from. So to drop in to get to know us a little bit more, and that we invite you to drop in, connect with us so that we get to know you a little bit more too. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And until next time, thank you, Debra. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Thank you, Roberta.